Good morning, everybody. RV Prepper Wayne here. Today we have a 2009 Palmetto Winter Creek camper trailer. This is the one that slides in the back of a pickup truck. We're going to be adding solar, inverter charger, fun stuff. We've had to go through, I've been here for a couple hours looking everything over where we're going to put everything in here. It's going to fit. So we looked at all the compartments. It's got a generator built into it. It took me a little bit figuring everything out of where I want to mount the stuff, where it'll be a good spot, how the wires are going to run. This does have a slide out on it, so therefore that makes it a little bit more, you know, I need to think about it. So it's been fun trying to figure this thing here out. Let me take you inside and show you. Okay, once we get in here, we was looking on where to mount stuff. The slide starts here and it's over here on this side, so it's basically the dinette and the refrigerator is on the slide. The closet is not on the slide. So trying to figure where to mount everything. Look where the original circuit breaker box is and stuff, and figuring everything out. Seeing how they run the wires for the slide over to everything. Figuring all that out. So the original batteries went here. And that's where they was at. Now what we're going to do is mount an inverter here and two 200 amp hour lithium batteries here. I'm going to end up running the wire from the inverter is going to run next to the other wires, leaving plenty of slack for the slide to come around for me to tie in the inverter, and then come back from the inverter, excuse me, not inverter, converter, and run back to the inverter. So I have two main power wires I have to run across. Then we're going to be mounting a charge controller. We're mounting a 30 amp charge controller. We're going to be mounting we're also going to be mounting the shunt display here and the inverter control board here. He did not want to run the smart shunt, but he also ordered the BMV 712 shunt as well, so we're going to be mounting that. So I'm going to be running those wires also up into here. The solar wires, I believe we're going to come in through here. I'm going to use a glad hand. It's going to be completely sealed. I may come through the roof over here. I may come through the side. I'll have to look on the roof to verify how I'm going to do that. And I'm running the solar wires down. They're going to come all down, back up under for the whole slide part, and come into here to the batteries. Now I have to extend the original battery cables that was here from over here, because not only does it controls the inside 12 volt lights, it also is the cables for the generator starting, and also for the leveling jacks, the lift jacks that's on here to raise it out of the truck. So we have all of them wires that we have to extend and bring everything over here. So we got our bus bars here, our fuse, charge controller. I'll take you inside and show you the inverter and other stuff. This right here is where the original batteries was. They was in a sliding tray. We're converting this into a dry storage. It's where he can store his power cable and stuff like that. So this is one of the wires I got to extend, and this. leaving all of this here intact to function as it should. Just long as I have this wire here run over, all of this stuff will work just like it should. Okay, the kit that he ordered was a GoPro kit. It come with the IC 3000 inverter charger. It comes with the 390 watt solar panels. It says 190 watts. And it came with a PWM charge controller. We're not using that, it's junk. They come with the solar cables. They come with the branch connectors and stuff like that. Has all of that. This is the battery monitor that we're going to be running. We also have a temp sensor. I ordered the connectors for my wire that I need, and also more of the battery lugs that I need. It doesn't want to open up. There. Got my 4-aught battery lugs that I need. Got those. Comes with the heat shrink. He's got the ampere time batteries, and it comes with a charger for the batteries, which I don't think we're really going to need that, but we're going to plug these in and let them charge overnight so both of them are charged. We also have a micro start that we're going to be installing, a micro air EasyStart. We're going to be installing on the coach as well. Now for that little one, this is a lot of power. That is a lot of power for that little coach. The inverter comes with the battery temp sensor. It comes with the cover and lugs. It comes with the data cable. We got the 4-aught battery cable here. And one thing we're going to work on is a DC to DC charger. We're going to be working on trying to get that going, so that way when he plugs the truck in, this can also charge on the battery side. We'll be able to put in for a remote wire if we need a remote wire for that. We'll have to get that set up as well. So that's the equipment and what I'm having to deal with. It's taken me a little bit, a couple hours, talking to him, going through everything, figuring out where to mount everything that would be good. We discussed several different possibilities. Some was good, some was bad, but we settled up under that seat. It's almost the best place for that to even sit. So that's what we're going to end up doing, is mounting everything up under that seat. I'm going to show you as much as I can as long as I go. And hopefully have this here all done within probably 2-3 days maybe. The hardest part's going to be running some of the wires. That's the hardest part. Now we do have to go pick up the Romax wire. We do need to pick some of that up. Junction box, some stuff like that. We do need to pick some things like that up because we are going to need them in here. That's stuff I told him that we would get once I got here. We would see how long of a wire we would need and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and get the inverter set in the coach. Go ahead and get the batteries just kind of set in there and just try to figure out my placement of where I'm going to mount everything and make sure everything's going to work good. That's what I do in every installation, is figuring out how everything's going to mount, function, and look proper. That way, if you ever need to get back into it and work on it, you can find what goes to where and understand what it is. Okay, on the inside, basically, I'm going to be running the negative wire that goes to the generator start, and I'm going to run another wire across. I'm going to run them. We're going to build a little channel back here and run them across and over into this bay here. The reason we're not running it up under the floor is this is on a slide out, and I just need enough room to run about 4 wires across there, and that's a good spot. It's way back in the corner. It's not going to hurt nothing. I've got the 2 batteries here and the inverter there. Now, I was going to mount some stuff on this wall here, but I can't because it's right here. Screws are going to show. So we're going to mount both bus bars, the fuse, and the shunt on this back wall here. It's going to be a little tight, but everything's going to work. I've already run the wire up toward the converter. That was fun because, like I said, this is on a slide out. So I got it run. I'm going to have to fasten it to this back wall here, which is going to be fine. It's going to sit right beside the refrigerator. It goes down through a hole all the way through this floor. I've got plenty of slack in the wire here, so I'm going to got the wires run under, back across, back into. One wire goes to the converter, the other wire gets tied in from the original converter wire, gets tied in, and I have my breaker box, or my junction box down here. So that was fun trying to run that wire, but like I said, once I get everything tied up, yes, I had to pull the refrigerator out. The solar wires are also going to run up down through there. I'm going to run them through the ceiling, back along this corner wall, back down, all the way down, and have them come in up under here, leave me a loop for the slide, and they're also going to come around all the way across into the charge controller. I hope that makes sense. We're going to run it across here, there, and everywhere. And we got some company here. Come here. Hi, guys. They're curious what I'm doing and keeping me company. But once I get the roof sealed up, which I'm going to go up there and show you on the roof, get ready to get that sealed, I have that all washed off. So let's go up on the roof. Okay, I got up here yesterday and I washed the roof, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to seal around my vents and seal up in this front area, get that kind of sealed up, and then I'm going to use Henry's Tropicool here on the roof. I'm going to put at least 2 coats on here. We do have to order another AC cover. I noticed yesterday when I got up here that this one was broke. We're going to get another one ordered. So I'm going to get up here in a few minutes and start working on getting all of this perfectly white and bright and sealed up. Okay, I've changed things up a little bit in here. Y'all remember that one box outside? I'm not mounting any equipment in there now after all. The one ground wire that was there that feeds the coach for the 12-volt lights, I had to pull it out, pull it through the channel that they have over here, like a radiator hose duct. Pull it out from all up under the slide, pulled it all the way out. And then what I did is I routed it up in behind the refrigerator. As you can see, I've got it run back up into here. This is the inverter wires, this is the charge controller wires, and this is the ground wire here. Gives me about 3/4 of an inch clearance between the side of the refrigerator and the wires. So I got them tied up. They're up and out of the way. I've got another piece of insulation I have to put up on this side. But I've got them tied up and coming in over here. I also have my shunt wire and inverter controller wire here for the display. As you see, I have me a board back here now. I have my negative bus bar, my shunt, and on this side over here I have my positive bus bar, my battery, and we're waiting for the master disconnect because they said it was supposed to be here. It's not. It's on back order, a month away. So we ordered another one. It should be here tomorrow. Just temporary, I wired up the coach here. Just testing a few things. But now I'm ready to get the refrigerator back in here. We opted to mount the displays over here. Got them cut and screwed in. And they actually come into on the other side of the refrigerator here, so they're fine out of the way. The charge controller is up here in the closet. This is my solar wires coming in from the roof, and this is my wires here going to the battery. So we got that mounted in here. No place really to mount it in here. There's just too much going to be going on in here to mount that and keep it safe mounted. The DC to DC charge controller, or the DC to DC charger, which is the Renogy 20 amp, is actually going to go back down in here. I've done tracked down my wire coming in, my accessory charge wire. I've done tracked that coming in, so I know which one that is now. So the only thing I'll have to do is just route this wire down to it, the other end out it, splice into the ground. The ground will go in there as well. This is the wire that feeds the circuit box. It's right here. And this is the wire that comes from the transfer switch. This is going to get tied in to this other wire with this junction box that I've got down here. Now this is on a slide. I had to leave slack in all the wires for the slide to move. I've already had the slide in and out and made sure no issues whatsoever, so I've got that done. As you can tell, I've even had to pull this drawer out to get in and run all the wires. It's been fun. I've got the roof with 2 coats of Henry's Tropical on there. Trying to get the rest of this stuff here all done. The new AC shroud come in today. So my goal is to get the refrigerator in here today and get this stuff done. I can't really hook the charge controller up yet because I don't have the DC breakers, so I'm waiting for those as well. But I can go ahead and get some of this here all done, as far as my jumpers to my bus bar and to the fuse and on the shunt and stuff like that. So I can get a lot of that stuff done. I do have to put this section back in. That keeps everything from flying around in there. So I'll have to put that back in. Still have to mount the inverter down. It's not mounted down yet because I'm having to shift it around to get to everything. Batteries, I've got to, I'll get them tied down after I get everything else all hooked up. Then I'll be able to get them tied down. But it's getting there. It's just taking a little bit. I believe everything here is going to be in a good location. I just got to reroute some of the wires a little bit here to make them work. But it's getting there. Now, all the stuff's pretty much mounted here in the slide, and generally I don't like mounting stuff in the slide because it is a lot more work. with running the wires and everything, because you got to make sure that the wires doesn't get chafed. You don't stretch them, you don't break them or anything like that. You got to keep plenty of slack and all that, which I do. I've got plenty of room. Like I said, I've had to slide in and out. So what I'm going to end up doing now is work on getting some of this stuff in here finished up, at least get the refrigerator in for tonight, get it hooked back up. He hasn't had it running because he knew I was coming in, so he had everything taken out of it. So we're going to get it slid back in, the insulation back up in there, and get this thing out of the way. One thing we did do is we converted everything over to LED lights. So all LED lights in here. So with 400 amp hours of batteries and this smaller coach, he's going to have plenty of power. 390 watt panels, so just shy of 600. 570 watts. Should be plenty of power. It's going to be on the truck pretty much, so when he's driving, the DC to DC is going to charge, the solar is going to charge. So all that's going to work. We still have to put the Smart Start on there, but we'll do that before we mount the panels. So I'm going to get busy getting this done, and then I'll show you kind of what I have going on that part. Okay, I have pretty much most of the stuff done on the inside. Before I mount the panels, I had to get over here so I can mount my Micro Air EasyStart. This one's fairly simple, where we're going to run everything. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this one here done, and then that way I can get the panels up here, get them mounted, and then it's just setting stuff up. I'll take you downstairs and show you everything on the inside that I've done. It's been a fun one. I have it mounted. It took me less than 5 minutes to mount it, hook it up, run my wires in, get them hooked up. One thing I did do is I sprayed evaporator cleaner all in here. This is a spray in, no rinse, just spray it in, let it sit. Did both sides. I did put a new cover onto this original panel. I hooked that back up as well. So now put this cover back on, and then I'm going to get up here and mount my solar panels. And the roof part will be completely done. Okay, here on the inside, I've got this back in. Just going to zip tie them wires up. Put the seat back in there and the cushions, and that part's done. Over here, I have everything completed. I've got my wires going over to the bus bar. The positive side is over here. Comes through a 400 amp T-class fuse into a master shut-off that goes down into the inverter. The inverter is all fastened down. Negative side goes over here to a bus bar. Then it comes down here to a shunt, and then it goes over into the inverter. All my grounds are tied into the shunt down here, so everything's done. This breaker here is what goes to the charge controller. So if there's any issue with the wires going through the slide out, which is up under that cover there, which I have back on now, that right here is where the breaker is going to trip. So therefore no power will be going back through there. And over here in the closet, I have the Vectron 150 amp MPPT charge controller. I have my breaker coming in from my panels to run down. This is where he said it would be a good place for it, because we know no room up under there. There's just a lot of stuff that's going in there. I did have to add a backer board in here to mount that stuff. So I've got it all done. I have all the batteries charged up. I had it set to 100% with 0 load, calibrated, and state of charge set to 100%. Got the GoPro inverter monitor panel, the shunt meter right here as well. Power charging limitation set on here, so when he plugs in, it's not going to overload anything. That way if he wants to turn the air conditioner right on, bam, it does, no problem. So everything's done. The only thing left for me to do is I have to build my little wall right there. I've got to build that. I've went through and I vacuumed everything up. All my mess has been vacuumed. Everything in there is done. All this is done and all vacuumed. Let me take you up and show you the panels now. Okay, we have the 3 panels mounted up here, all in parallel. Got a mounted one there. The other one's here. And the other one is right there. Everything fit just perfect. It's a little tight, but it fits with no problem there. Wires are actually fastened down with screws and cable clamps. I got die cord up over there. Same thing there, same thing there. Glad hand right there, the pass-through. It's sealed and fastened down. I have the micro air soft start done on here. Everything seems to be working. The only thing left to do is hook up the DC to DC converter. But what we have to do is hook it to the truck. We're going to do that tomorrow. I'll get that mounted and it'll be completely done, and everything is hunky-dory, perfectly a-okay on this. I stepped in die cord on my shoe. Great. Questions, comments, please like and subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. I will see you all in the next video.